Films are a world in our minds.
Education, clearly.
Manifesting.
We like
To learn. Knowledge is the way
to go.
for life.
My name is Jay Gash, or Jordan Gash.
My name is Nicole.
My name is Davia.
I feel comfortable with my body and in my skin. Earliest negative memory on my body was like elementary school. Kids used to tease me for being super skinny, called me a stick, and it was super unkind, and like I couldn't do anything about it. That's just who I was, and it took me time to realize, I had to be comfortable within myself. People are looking up to these things, material things, and they think this is great, this is what I need to have, this is what I need to look like, and it's super unrealistic for the majority of people, but it doesn't, it's super unrealistic, and I wish that there was more idealism for being who you are and being comfortable within your own skin, as long as you're being healthy about that.
When I think about my body, I mostly feel gratitude. For a while I had a really, I don't even know if, I wasn't communicating with my body at all. I had a really terrible, hateful relationship with my body, and so I've been in a long healing process with that. I grew up in this culture, and so I feel like I always in the back of my mind have this idea from the media and everyone around me of you have to look a certain way, you have to be really thin, you have to be traditionally feminine. But I was particularly, I remember, very, very good at climbing things. So my earliest positive memory with my body is probably either climbing the highest in a tree, or I was really, really good at the monkey bars. And I remember feeling really strong and tough and cool at recess all the time. I went to a Catholic elementary school, and I had to wear uniforms, and I had to wear a skirt. And so I remember being probably 6, and it being recess, and a teacher pulling me aside and telling me that it was inappropriate that I was on the monkey bars, because other students could, little boys could walk under me and see my underwear, and somehow that was put on me as my fault. And I remember not having the vocabulary that I have for it now, but understanding that that wasn't my fault, and that that approach just entirely shut me down from doing something that I really loved. And I just started wearing basketball shorts under my skirt. But I remember feeling really just dirty and ashamed, and I had done something wrong.
I remember I was on a swim team, but I was kind of chubby, and one of the other kids made fun of me and was well, you're gonna be slow because you're chubby. But then I beat him. I beat everyone, and I was just oh, whatever. Earliest negative was going to the doctor, and they told me that I needed to lose weight because I was overweight, and that really hurt my feelings, because I was 12, 13, and I was what do you mean? And then my mom was oh, you can't eat those potato chips, all these things. So that really impacted me. I definitely have envy people. I feel that's a very natural thing to go through, especially in high school and even in college. There's just so much pressure to look a certain way or be a certain way, that it's hard. It's taken me some time to like my body, but I like it now.
My name is Pierce Whitney.
My name is Elizabeth.
My name is Zoe Burleson.
I'm very scared of public speaking.
For public speaking, my ability has transformed throughout the years. In the very beginning, like when I was a lot younger, my public speaking was really, really hard for me. It was absolutely terrifying.
This fear has definitely tremendously stopped me from doing a lot of things, like continuing on my sports, going to new schools, going to a class. I can't even walk in without fully getting my breathing on, right, getting a good pace of it, or just starting to shake or bite my nails.
My first experience public speaking was when I was about 6 years old and I had to read a prayer for my Catholic school. And I remember having to say a small paragraph of of a prayer and stuff. And I remember being so afraid because I had to speak in front of hundreds of people. And when I was up there at the podium, I was just shaking or stiff as stone. And I was just looking at the paper and I could not read it at all. It's like my comprehension literate skills just flew out the window and I could not do anything anymore. And it kind of stuck with me throughout high school.
What started this fear was when I was in first grade and I was doing a talent show for the whole class, and my talent was singing. So I walked up and I wanted to sing a song. I forgot what the song name was, but all I could do was just stand there, and I was shaking and I just wanted to curl up and die. I couldn't say anything.
I chip my nails a lot, and I play with my rubber bands and my bracelet.
When I'm nervous, I could bite my nails, I could tap my foot if I'm being anxious. If I'm really stressed out, for example at school, sometimes I really scratch my head or kind of tug on my hair. Those are just some things I do if I cannot find a better way to cope with my stress. When I'm standing in front of a large crowd, at first I feel numb, like, whoa, am I really here right now? Or wow, is this really happening? But it usually takes a few seconds for me to realize hey, it's okay, it's not a big deal, and I'm ultimately just speaking. And those are just some things that get me through that fear and help me gain confidence to clearly project and prepare myself for that event.
When I'm standing in front of a large crowd, I just think of trying to sound perfect and just making my sentences sound good. And I feel like a lot of pressure because everyone's looking at you and just expecting a lot.
Emotions that I feel when I stand in a large crowd of people, probably anxiety and overwhelmed and fear. Yeah. Going through my mind through those times is when I think of myself as so little compared to everyone else. I feel like everyone is bigger than me. I feel like I could be squashed at any minute now, and I feel that I'm not ready for the world just yet.
Yeah, I think the media definitely has played a role in my fear of public speaking, just because, there's so many videos online of people messing up on stage, and it's just fail compilations. These people messing up on big interviews and stuff.
In ways, I believe the media has kind of set this idea that perhaps young women shouldn't be speaking out loud in front of a big audience or shouldn't be aggressively stating their opinions and putting themselves forth. In a lot of Disney movies or a lot of cartoons, I usually see the young characters, the young female characters, being quiet, being respectful, not always the leaders. It didn't really, it was hard to find a role model to be hey, I want to be like her, who's going to step up and really voice her opinions.
Just try to overcome your fear and don't be afraid of what can happen, because anything can happen.
I think if you're afraid of public speaking, I think you should try and overcome your fear and just roll with it, because if you don't just get over it and just do it, you'll have all these regrets.
It's good, everyone has the same thing, so yeah.
I'm a multimedia artist. I write, I make films, I make music, I make TV shows.
My name is Suchat Mosley Wise. I'm 12 years old and dance. It's just like something that I can do that expresses myself.
I am currently learning painting and just drawing in general, yes.
I want to pursue a film.
Like many other people in the world, I just started drawing at a very young age, and it was something that I liked to do. And then as I grew older, it's the only thing that I ever liked to do.
Because my mother was an artist, and then I was always watching what she was doing. And also my brother is a very good artist. So I think I was influenced by them.
I'll have to say my dad is the person that originally drew me to my art. He was the person who would put me in plays when I was little. He showed me how to work a camcorder when they were like this big and set on your shoulders. He showed me how to edit on 2 VCRs, which sounds like the Stone Age to you, I'm sure.
What really drew me to my art is watching other people like dance and see like how they move, and like I started doing it, and then it just became like something that I really love to do.
I wanted to pursue the film, but each moment I changed the goal.
I wanted to be a musician. It's because I love music. I think music is the healing force that moves the world forward, and that was the art that I wanted to pursue. One regret is that I did not pursue music as diligently as I did multimedia, multivisual arts. I allowed my so-called friends when I was growing up, and this was before playing music was cool, so I allowed my so-called friends to shame me out of carrying my violin case or my flute case, or shame me out of, peering through my thick glasses to read music.
I don't have any worried even if she's not reaching her dream. I'm not worried. I'm sure she will find something.
Some worries that I have for Suchat are that she will put all of her artistic eggs in one basket and rely solely on dance to fuel her passion for art.
They usually encourage me by just telling me, do what you want to do and just go do it. Just go.
I encourage her to pursue all the artistic endeavors that she can.
Arts-wise, I am afraid of getting out of college in huge debt, without a job, slowly starving, living in a cardboard box in the cold.
I'm afraid of if I want to try something new and then I want to go back to dance and I'm not as good as I used to be, and I keep trying and I keep trying and I still wasn't as good as I used to be. That's something I'm afraid of happening right now. I believe that I can make it.
There's just so many people, and there'll always be somebody better than you at everything. Realistically, I don't think I'll make it.
I personally feel like she has already made it, and now it's up to her to take advantage of the platform that she's been given.
Yes, I think she will pursue. She will pursue her dream or goal has a high chance to reach it than winning a lottery.
Thank you, Okasan.
Thank you.
Ready?
And camera's rolling.
Films are a world in our minds.
Films are a world in our minds.
Films are a world in our minds.
Education clearly manifesting.
We like to learn.
Knowledge is the way to go.
Knowledge is the way to go.
Knowledge is the way to go. Real life. Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life. Cool. And then I'm gonna go cut.